Yo, ça gen la Pousye là, nous avons l'autre show encore. Jeudi, on son interview lié. M'poko ap di nou ak yes, so m'bral introduce li pour nous. Mais li passionné en pile bagay, li remen en pile activité qui gen rapport aider moun. So, m'bral interview jeudi hein, m'pa parler en pile parce qu'il a peut-être tombé. So, si m'te quitté la pli mourir, m't'a tourner la boue. So pas gete pour ça. So ap gade ay Pousye et nous relève de Pousye Cho. Yo yo! Yo, j'aime te dire nous là avec un bel petit pied, Grimel. Pareil. Regardez, il y a longtemps que je voulais faire chaud ça. Comme ça dit, cheveux pas fait. Avant de commencer chaud, qui problème mesdames yo gen avec cheveux ou pas voulez venir dans la caméra sans cheveux pas fait? Je pose une question à Phalancia. Avant de répondre, pour qu'on introduise avec fan Pousye yo, ti moun qui est sur qui sont fait.
Hi everyone, my name is Phalancia. Nom c'est Phalancia. Moi c'est un educator. Moi c'est un writer. Moi c'est un activist. Yeah, et ça me fait.
Elle pas dit nous c'est élève, non moi cap coûter parler créole. So, on va yo. N'a privé sur ça. OK. Pour qui sortez dire ou pas faire show tout le temps cheveux pas fait. What's up with girl and cheveux? What's the problem?
Because you have to put your best face forward. It's not that my hair wasn't done, it just wasn't done to the way I wanted it to be done, to, you know, have this conversation.
Je connais un pile fan qui fait si ça dit en c'est pour faire me connaître. L'aime de faire pousser bab moi. Bon réalité, oui, si me pas fait chasse me pas aller à la vidéo, je pense que c'est même feeling là. So.
Yes.
Ouais.
Ou that's what you they are so pas connaître.
No, not anyway. I got you.
Okay, the same thing with your haircut. If you don't have a tape, you're gonna be on. Do you have any of your shows without having a tape?
I guess she's right.
Thank you.
Si vous avez raison, faites me connaître en bas comment là. Si vous avez raison, faites me connaître. Pousye li, n'a tourner.
Hi, my name is Gigi and I'm watching the Pousye Show.
Yo, nous tournons avec Phalancia, Jean Dinois. Nous sommes debate là, gros discussion t'a fait, so pas de nouvelle discussion ça. So relax. Yes, Phalancia, est-ce que vous faites ici ou bien Haïti?
Moi, fait Haïti.
Dans quelle zone?
Port-au-Prince. Pétionville.
Combien, like, since when? Like, depuis qu'il a Haïti?
Depuis j'ai 7 ans quitté Haïti.
So, back en Haïti. Si depuis 7 ans quitté Haïti, back en Haïti.
Okay, but je pas quitté puis moi juste pas retourné.
Oh, you travel back and forth?
Yeah, moi travel back souvent.
Okay.
But dernière fois moi j'étais allé c'est 2015.
Il y a un bon titre. Dans 2020, là, 2020, pas même besoin de répéter, ça sont crazy yearly, so je ne vais pas répéter. So, you just got a job as a teacher, right?
Yes, I did.
What made you decide to become a teacher?
I've always wanted to teach. My ultimate goal is to be a professor, but I've always wanted to teach in a high school setting. And while doing my master's program, I'm a graduate student at FIU, and while like finishing my program, I decided to get a certificate in African diaspora studies. And in being in those classes and seeing how things I've never knew before, it's coming to me, and all the knowledge that I gained from just listening and reading, it's like a whole new world opened. I was just like, oh man, I didn't even know this. So that really inspired me to teach and to like impact someone like that.
So what are you teaching?
So I'm really excited because my undergraduate major was English literature at FIU. I got my BA. And I'm going to be teaching high school English. So I'm super excited. English is my passion. I love to read. I love to write. I even got a tattoo of a book on my ankle. I love books.
Yo, élève moi, ma bosse ni créole, a petit anglais. Pousye lié. Regardez. M'pa jamais ba nou vérité qui fait moi vle interview li. So nous connaît 2-3 mois qui se passé yo. Nous était dans corona, COVID-19 et puis yo tué yon black man injuste. So ça te fait gros désordre dans Amérique tout bagay ça yo. On l'aime sur social media ma flip Mwen wè ti piti sa kampi non protest. Oh, sa pou moun konen sa la fè la. An pil moun pale de protest de Black Lives Matter, but li mèm li involve la dan. So m di son bel mwen pou m pale avel, pou m konen sa ke l deside pran risa, malgré konen polis abat moun. Ou kompran tout bagay. So pou di sa pou deside al protester nan mitan moun yo avèk sign, sa yon di mache. Pas chanje, pas changer le photo.
I don't even remember what it said either.
But you got the picture, right?
I do.
Okay.
But I've always been vocal, posting about injustices that I've seen. As an immigrant, my parents came here, you know, for a better life for me. That's why a lot of immigrants, you know, that's what a lot of immigrant parents do for their kids. Mm-hmm. And seeing injustices, especially when it came to like this administration and this anti-immigrant fervor that's like so rampant with them, it just really bothered me because I'm an immigrant and my parents are immigrants, and seeing like all the racism and discrimination, it angered me. And a lot of times when I would see things on Instagram or Facebook, it really upsetted me the way people would speak about certain things. And I just wanted to be like, I started to like tailor my posting to bring awareness to things for people. Mm-hmm. And when the George Floyd incident happened, not incident, it was murder.
He was sad, yeah.
It was murder. When he was murdered, another unarmed black man murdered by this, you know, racist system that's embedded in the country. It really, really angered me because I, as a black woman, that could have been anybody that I knew. That could have been you. Exactly. That could have been my father. That could have been my cousins. And it got to the point where I was just fed up. And I just felt like I wanted to be out there, you know. I wanted to be on the right side of history. And I wanted to do what, you know, we learned about in our history books. So.
Yeah, ça sent peu d'information. So, m vreman apresye ou pran inisiativ lan to be in the front line. Parce gen pil moun ki rete, li fasil pou rete their computer, on their telephone nan, read, talk about it, but to take action is a different story.
Et puis, gen pil moun, like, yo pa, you know, comfortable ale marcher dehors. And that's okay, you can donate. Ou ka pale avek moun pou ka fe yo kompren sa ki ka pase. So it's not for everybody protesting. Yeah. But as long as you're also doing something else to supplement that, you know, donating to these like to these bail funds for these protesters, everything counts. But talking about it is where it starts. You have to have these conversations because a lot of people are ignorant. They don't understand. Like one thing that really bothered me when the protesting started occurring again, a lot of people were saying, well, what about black on black crime? And it was black people saying that, and it just baffled me how they would resort to that when we're talking about an injustice that's been plaguing us for centuries, not recent, centuries. And they resort to, well, you know, black people kill people all the time. That's not. First of all, that's false. That's a false narrative.
But the thing is, I think c'est parce que kounya tout moun gen accès à social media qui fait nou well, pas rapide, but il était toujours qu'on a fait, il est difficile pour nous. But c'est ça que ça. So, n'a pour un break, n'a tourner avec Phalancia pour plus d'informations about tout bagage. So, d'après vous-même, qui plus bon moyen pour ce monde ka aider? Like, sous l'en position, pour te prendre décision, qui décision tu prends ou pensez qu'il doit améliorer la situation à plus pour y a des racism, black and white crime, tout bagage ça.
When you say améliorer,
yeah.
ça veut dire.
Vous comprenez? Nous disons pas enseigner le vocabulaire ça pour arriver là-dedans. Improve, like from point A to B, qui doit faire plus bien, l'autre dit améliorer, qui doit faire plus bon. Or you're gonna improve the situation.
It starts with voting.
Okay.
That's the number one thing because un pile moun qui nan community qui a, you know, enact these policies, we vote them in, you know?
Because they make
the decision. We're voting them in. Judges, we're voting them in. There's a disproportionate amount of black people who get jailed compared to white people. Judges are voted in. We elect our judges. So I think voting is the number one thing that people can start with because it will basically set the path for this system of injustice that's been embedded in the fabric of this country to kind of like, you know, get better. That's where I would start voting. Like, to have conversations with people that don't. I know a lot. I have friends who have friends that don't vote, and it's just like, I don't understand. I understand, but it's not voting doesn't do anything, you know.
So every vote counts, just vote, like they say. So you really believe every single vote counts.
And it's, you know, everyone knows that we live in a very racist society. You know, people have been saying, "Oh, racism is dead." It was covert, and now, you know, in this technology age that we live in, it's more overt, and, you know, it's more apparent. And another thing that I think that we can do as you know, citizens, just call it out when you see it. Like, if you're walking, you see somebody getting disrespected or being discriminated against next to you, don't ignore it. We have to call out these injustices when we see them, because when we don't call it out, it makes it okay.
Yeah, it's like we approve it.
Yes.
Okay.
Silence is deadly, especially in this day and age. It's deadly.
Wow. Moi wè sa ka fèt la, m'assiste nou gade l, j'aime konnen gen pil moun ki nan même position avem. But pour prendre décision pour parler avec elle, il prend courage. I for courage to speak out.
It does.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage, because it's kind of scary, because you'll have people who will attack you. Like, for example, my university, FIU, they posted something on Instagram, and I replied to the post, and somebody came and she was attacking me. Like, this is a university, they're not supposed to be talking about things like that. And she was going back and forth with me on an Instagram post. And, you know, some people, they're not gonna understand it, but we still, like, you have to do what's right. In this day and age, you have to do what's right.
D'accord, oui. Et sous d'accord, fais-moi comme ça. Et pas oublier, ma prend temps ça pour me dire non, like vidéo ça, share li, subscribe, montrez amis nous, quitte li black, quitte li white, s'il crème marron, toute couleur, s'il couleur l'arc-en-ciel là, montrez aux vidéos ça, c'est l'important. So, nous pas prendre plus de temps parce que moi n'a pas temps pour ils sont rafale minute là, nous gagne 2 épisodes pour faire avec Phalancia encore et puis n'a fait mes Pousye Cho. Tande-moi là. Nous pas bien temps parler sur teach là parce que c'est première année où elle enseigner.
Première année.
OK. Vous connaissez la première fois où entrer dans classement. Qui premier bagage ou teach?
Well, premièrement, je ne connaissais pas nos classes because COVID. Je n'avais pas de caméra pour toute l'année. So, je ne connais pas. But, premier, je connais policies avec, you know, on gens.
Regulations.
Yeah, on gens, yo, bao pour éduquer Timunyo.
Yeah.
So, like, moi t'ai checké 11 ans, moi qui c'est un teacher, et puis il t'a montré moi, what is it called? They have a lesson plan.
Yeah.
Il t'a montré lesson plan, side county of Blé.
They have a weekly one or a daily lesson plan?
Weekly.
Yeah.
So, moi tout livre ça yo, but moi ka, ça on livre moi advoquer pour Timunyo li, c'est not leave, but moi vle yo li on leave by Edwidge Dantika.
Why?
Edwidge Dantika, I'm so a big fan, big fan, okay? But premièrement, lycée on, she's a black Haitian woman. Mm-hmm. I'm a black Haitian woman, so I identify with her. But she writes a lot of books that I think that's very important for the culture, whether you're Haitian or whether you're black, or her books are just so powerful, and she uses historical events to write these novels. My favorite book by her is The Farming of Bones. The Farming of Bones is one of my favorite books. But you know where I was introduced to Edwidge Dantika?
Where?
I was introduced to her in 10th grade in English class by my English teacher. She made us read Breath, Eyes, Memory, and ever since then I've met her like 3 times, and when I tell you, this is Edwidge Tika Beyonce for me.
So
Edwidge Tika Beyonce.
Those are your idols.
Listen, I adore that woman, but the farming of bones is what I'm really gonna advocate, and I'm really gonna push for them. That's what I want to teach them, because it is an event. You know how we learn about like events domestically and internationally, and I think that it's a really huge international event that doesn't get enough limelight.
Yeah.
So the farming of bones essentially is about the 1937 massacre by Dominican President Rafael Trujillo. So when that massacre occurred during that time period, it was underreported because the U.S. was fighting, anti-communist sentiments.
Okay, point your story teacher to it.
But there was a lot of anti-blackness, fervor in the country at the time. Well, just around the world. This was 1930s. So Haiti being the first black republic in the Western Hemisphere, they didn't get enough attention. But even till this day, she wrote this book, I believe, in the early 2000s, 2001. And this happened in 1937. A lot of people don't know about this.
Yeah, I didn't know about it.
It should be, a lot of Haitians, I didn't know about it until I read The Farming of Bones my second year of college. Like this, my second year, I was 2021. That's when I learned about, and I pride myself on being this Haitian woman, that, is trying to gain all this knowledge about Haiti. And I didn't even know about this important piece of my history. So I love.
C'est histoire haïtienne son belle histoire. En pile, même haïtien pas prendre en pile bagage. C'est ça qui est important pour faire research, pour connaître, parce que il y a un pile l'autre livre. C'est mon blanc qui boit histoire.
Exactly.
Like, tu appelles ça, c'est mon blanc. You bought their version of it. But bon bagage là, c'est l'autre monde pour parler, qui connaît pour expliquer. So, vraiment content par la vol, hein. Il y a un peu de monde qui dit pas faire show mais trop long parce qu'il faut regarder l'autre show pour regarder, me voulait quitter les. Écoute, mais si on veut connaître information de vous-même, qui façon vous pouvez contacter pour Instagram, Facebook, social media, qui plus bon moyen vous pouvez suivre vous pour connaître plus d'informations de vous?
Facebook, but so problematic.
This is Facebook for old people. I don't think you're that old.
First of all, Facebook is not for old people. I love Facebook, okay? I love Facebook. It's the millennials. No, I'm a millennial. It's the Generation Zers. That's who say that. But the thing with my Facebook is when I'm going through, if I'm working on a really intense project, I'll deactivate it so I won't see.
So you're not consistent.
Yeah, but I'm pretty big on Instagram, and I advocate a lot on Instagram. So I would say Instagram.
Instagram. So ma mettre Instagram account là dans screen là ou bien dans description. Si nous suivez li DM li dit c'est poussière voyelle. Vous avez ça me dit c'est poussière. So, je voulais thank you pour ça. Et je connais moi-même moi fait commencer teach, m'a pris sur 3-4 ans. Et je pense c'est graphic. So je pense c'est une plus bonne décision malgré pas bail professeur ou teacher enough respect. But je pense c'est une plus bonne décision fait parce que ou a changer vie élève, vie président. Tout président t'es bon teacher.
Exactly.
Third, 4th, 4th grade, n'importe grade lié. Tout avocat, tout docteur, tout grand monde n'a pas été passé dans un teacher. So, malgré pas de respect, élèves ont de respecter tout bagage, keep pushing because you're gonna make it different. So, c'est après vous venez grand monde, ouais, j'en dis, c'est dans 10th grade, remember that, on monde qui était forward.
I'm never gonna forget her.
Exactly.
Never gonna. I
so,
love her.
So, pour faire même impact dans la vie de Simon, je pense que ça fait une différence. Parce que le programme, moi, je me pile 11 avec 12 graders too. So, I know it's a struggle, but keep on moving. Thanks, Phalancia.
You're welcome.
Yo, pas oublier, like, subscribe, suivre Phalancia, c'est pour ça que vous regardez, si nous avons des bruits, c'est que la pluie a tombé, je ne vais pas vous un peu là. So, n'a pas dans l'autre show. Pousye allié. Bye.
Bye.
Tout le monde qui aime regarder, me juger, me dit, me son race. Pas de